they've all gelled in. Do you know what I'm saying? To play in a certain way, they've got time on their side that Tottenham don't have. So even if you might think individually you might have a team that's as strong as theirs, yeah, they've got time on their side, and also they've got a title challenge last season behind them. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what they have. You don't have that. So because you don't have that, you can't expect the Tottenham players, even though man for man, it's a lot closer than people are giving it credit for. Yeah, you can't expect them to be able to compete at the same level as Arsenal. The only thing that might balance it out is that Arsenal have more games to play because they're in Europe and they're in 2 cup competitions and you're not. So that could be where the gaps,
I think they are like riding. I don't want to say they're riding their luck, because I thought for the 2 goals yesterday, I thought they were very good. But Saka and Martinelli now are starting to go down a lot more, holding ankles and stuff. And with the amount of that, they're not in a position where like they didn't go out and buy 4 or 5 players that would give them that depth. They brought in Timber, who got injured immediately. Kai Havertz is one of the worst signings I've ever seen. They brought in Raya, who's been pony. And who else did they bring in? They brought in, I can't even remember who the other guy was.
Who's that?
Who did they bring in? They brought in Havertz, Timber, Rice. Rice has been an unbelievable signing for them. I think he's been very good. But I look at their depth and look at their bench last night, and I'm thinking,
no, their bench looks like how it looked last season, bro. They haven't improved in terms of depth, innit? Like, you know what I mean, I wouldn't even go as far as saying Rice has been an unbelievable signing. I just think it's been a decent signing. It's a player.
Same as us though, Rants. One injury to Saka and Martinelli.
Yeah, but come on, bro. Like when you look at both of your teams, I know when people talk about combined 11s. If I'm doing a combined 11, yeah, and I ain't got no horse in this race. If I do a combined 11 with Arsenal and Tottenham, I'm taking Tottenham's goalie. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm taking Son, I'm taking Basuma and Maddison. That's already 4 players. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's even before we start going into any of the...
Like, at the left back as well, your doggy's been
class. Yeah. I take your left back as well. Do you know what I mean? And there's an argument for Van der Ven as well. There's an argument. Do you see what I mean? That's already 5 players. So, yeah, cool. Man for man, there might not be a big difference between Arsenal and Tottenham, but the difference is they've got time on their side and you don't, innit? Do you know what I mean?
They've got experience now. That's what it comes down to.
They've got time, they've got experience, and also they've had the opportunity to deal with adversity. They've had the opportunity to deal with some bad results. We don't know what Tottenham are going to look like after
it's a good point.
two or 3 losses in a row. Whereas with Arsenal, we know what they're going to look like after they lose a few games in a row because they've done it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you lot ain't done it yet. So it's still to be seen, yeah. It's still to be seen as to how Tottenham deal with a loss. If they lose 1 game and they say, oh yeah, whatever, let's get on. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's get on with it. But it's not that. It's not that night now. We don't know. So this is why chemistry is important, mentality is important, and body of work is important. And Arsenal have the bigger sample size to take from. So that's why, even though between you 2 teams, there's not a lot in terms of ability, there's a big gap in terms of what I know Arsenal can do and what I think Tottenham can do. Because I don't know what Tottenham can do yet, bruv, because they haven't done it. Like Arsenal have already done it, even though they didn't win anything, but they still done it. Do you know what I'm saying? So
with 1 game with Man City for 38 games, haven't they?
That's it. So with one game a week, you might be able to close the gap on Arsenal. You might be able to. However, it's still a might at this point. We know that with Arsenal being in Europe and in 2 cup competitions, they can still finish second. We know that. Are they going to do that this season? I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think so personally. I think they're going to finish below Liverpool and Man City. That's my opinion. But we're not going to know until the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? The facts are, yeah, at the moment, you're 2 of the best 3 teams in the country. Man, best 4 teams in the country. You can't even split anyone at the moment. Tottenham are playing the best football. They're top of the league at the moment. You could say Man City's still the best team in the country, like when everyone's fit and everyone's playing well, but City aren't there yet. Like everyone's not fit and everyone's not playing well.
They're like a candlestick, aren't they? Slow burners. And then when it comes to January, 15 game runs.
There you go. Like if you're looking at the football being played at the moment, you're probably looking at it and saying Tottenham are very good, Liverpool are very good, Liverpool are very dangerous. Arsenal are getting results, even though they're not necessarily playing that well. And same with Man City to a certain degree. City aren't at their best and they're getting results. I don't know if Arsenal are at their best. I feel like they are. I don't feel like they can play much better than they're playing. It seems like a big drop-off from last season in terms of how they're playing, but they're a lot more resilient now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think they're a lot harder. They're a lot harder to kind of to beat now in terms of you've seen them come from behind a few times, whereas normally before when Arsenal were behind, they would just fall apart. They're not
they've
doing
got a bit
that
of character now, haven't they?
Yeah, they're not doing that anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? So even 2-0 up against Arsenal, you have to get a third, innit? Like Arsenal never used to be like that. So that's how the
It's
teams
a bit like
develop.
United at times. They'd be 2-0 down, they're coming back.
Yeah, but that
No.
was how we used to be. Now if we're 2-0 down, we might lose 7-0. You see what I mean? So that's where it comes down to mentality. That's where it comes down to mentality. When I see Tottenham in like a position where they're 2-0 down and it's not going their way, can they turn it around? Do you know what I'm saying? And if they can't, that's when we'll find out. And if they can, then it's like, okay. But at the moment, it's a lot of ifs.
We haven't had a single setback. I don't think.
Well, exactly. But you're bound to have one because football's like that.
The only game we've been behind and come back and won in was Sheffield United. And then we were 1-0 down in the 95th minute and somehow won 2-1. Like, if we lose against Palace on Friday night, which could happen, because we have gone there. Like, we won there 4-0 last year. But other times, I remember when, like, Zaha got in Tanganga's head, he got sent off, we got pounded 3-0.
Rattled, yeah.
Like, if we lose, there'd be a lot riding on that Chelsea game. And not only that, if after the Palace game on Friday night, we haven't got a game for 10 days. We don't play until the following Monday.
That's amazing for you, look, because you can go out there, empty the tank against Palace, and know if you're the manager, give the players a day off. Do you know what I'm saying? Say, lads, have a day off. Do you know what I mean? Chill with your families.
Do you think that's better than maybe playing like the Wednesday in the midweek to kind of build that, like get more experience?
I think so. And the reason why I say that is because I know, like, you see in professional football, most of these players are carrying stuff, man. They're carrying niggles. And even though, they say, oh, no one feels the niggles when you're winning, mentally, you play better when physically you know you're okay, if that makes sense. Like, when you're playing with niggles, mentally, it holds you back a little bit. Like, even if you can get that extra time to rest, extra time in the physio room, you'll still be training. It just takes your performance up that little bit more, bro. Like, the footballers are playing.
Yeah, you're fully fit. You
and also you stay away from injuries. Look at Jesus, for example. Yeah, like, he's a big player for Arsenal. So every time he gets injured, there's a part of Arsenal that want to rush him back. It's the same with Saka. If they had 10 days off, bro, they might be able to fully get rid of these injuries. Because 10 days is a long time with the sports science and everything that they have. 10 days is a long time. That's nearly 2 weeks to go see the physio, have the treatment.
No international football as well. That's it. Either.
No football, bro. Like, so when you've got a game every 3 days, you can't really rest, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you're resting, it's not really resting because you're still watching the game. So psychologically, you're not switching off either. When you know you got no game and you can just be with the physio, be in the pool, do whatever you're doing and say, you know what? I got a game in 10 days. I could switch off a little bit and just focus on getting fit for that game. Do you know what I mean? Instead of, oh, like, I'm not fit, I'm not playing, but I'm still watching the game. The team aren't playing well. And then you're thinking about that. Bro, you just need to think about yourself and get back on the pitch, innit? And that's just what it is. So that 10 days is going to be massive for you. Massive.
December's going to be the test. December's going to be the big test.
Yeah, but there you go. But December is the time where everyone plays the most amount of games and you're going to have the freshest legs because you would have played the less amount of minutes.
Yeah, but at the same time, if we're behind in a game, there's nothing on that bench. Like in December, we've got Man City, West Ham, Newcastle, Brighton, Forest, Everton, and Bournemouth. And then our first game in January is you lot.
Say that again.
We got Man City away on the 3rd of December.
Yeah.
West Ham 2 days later on the 5th of December.
You'll win that as well. West Ham got beat 4-0 or something by
then
4-1 by
Aston Villa. We've got Newcastle at home.
Yikes. Tough game.
Then we've got Forest away.
You'll win that.
Everton at home.
You'll win that.
Brighton away. I think we'll beat them as well.
Yeah, you'll win that as well.
Bournemouth at home.
You'll win that as well, brother. I can't lie. That running, it's only Man City, and Newcastle. Those are the only 2 games where I'm like, you could drop.
On next 4, we've got Palace away, Chelsea at home, Wolves away, and then a tough game. We've got Villa.
You're good, bro. I'll be honest. Like, the Man City game, for some reason, you always get something against City, yeah? Like, you might.
And in January as well, for 4 games, we lose Basuma, Sarr, and Heung-min Son for 4 games.
Is it 4 though?
Yeah,
because I heard with the AFCON, because of the time it is, they only miss like a couple games.
Oh, really? So in January, we've got Man United, FA Cup, which we don't know who we're playing yet, and Brentford.
I heard they only missed a couple games because of this thing, and also it matters how long they stay in for. Do you know what I mean? Like it depends on what team they play for, bro. If they don't progress far, they could be coming back sooner. You never know, innit? So,
Senegal is normally one of the better African teams. Seoul will be probably going to the latter stages. Bissouma plays for Mali. I don't know any other their players they've got. And
bruv,
Son
they
probably...
used to have like Canute or something. Mali ain't doing jack, blood. From what
didn't
I
they
know,
have the original, not Sessegnon, what was his name? The geezer that used to play for Sunderland.
Sessegnon.
Was it Sessegnon?
It was Sessegnon, yeah.
But the thing is, well, we could lose Son for a while because obviously South Korea have got some good players.
Yeah, see the Son, but that's why in January, man need to do an Ivan Toney thing. I can't lie,
100%.
That's what you need to do. If you do that, then that'll keep the title race alive. Still, like I can't.
And if you had both of them fit and firing, the way Son's playing at the moment, like he's got 7 goals in 9 games. And do you know what? Fair play, because I've given him a lot of criticism. And do you know what? He's took that armband. He's been vocal on the pitch. He's scoring goals. He's creating goals. Like, and this is. Can you imagine just for a split second if we finally get rid of Harry Kane and then won the league?
No, it could happen, bro. But you know what's funny? Like, remember Champions League final. You know what I'm saying? Son playing up front for you guys up until the final, and then you brought Kane back and you lost. And it's like, boy, who knows? If you played Son up front, you might have won. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of them ones. It makes you think, innit? Like we've seen Son play up front before, so we know that he can do it. And because now he's a bit older now as well. Yeah. It's like his instincts better. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So it's good. He's kind of reinventing himself now in that central position. And that's kind of what happens anyway when players get a bit more experienced, slightly less explosive. And playing up front, Son can prolong his career now, bro. Because as a wide man, that his days were numbering, bruv. You get me? And now down the middle, fam, he can play down the middle. Similar to what Mane done. Do you know what I'm saying? He kind of just moved down the middle and then all of a sudden... like it was like, all right, it's like a new player now. So yeah, Son down the middle is dangerous, but I still think that
we need more creativity in this team. 100%.
I still think that you should buy a striker and play Son out wide. If you can get Ivan Toney or something like that, then oh wow, yeah. If I got a Barca game on, bro, I see man just get cooked. But yeah, if you can get an Ivan Toney situation,
still 0-0.
Yeah, but Cancelo just absolutely just ripped.
I've got Feyenoord Lazio on the background.
Yeah. So now, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Mane in his last season at Liverpool, I think Son can do that. But if you're Tottenham, if you're being honest, you go and in January you go and get a goal scorer because Richarlison's not going to do that.